What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Grand Force Gaming. Nova here again with another Street Fighter Duel video, and this one is going to be the trial realm for Mummy Dhalsim. Okay, he just came out today. I have the other video up for Summer Ibuki already. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. I'll put a card up here at the top for you guys. Let's hop in and to look at his skills really quickly. Now, just like the video I put up for Summer Ibuki, I'm not really going to dive too deep into his skills here. This is more just so if you guys want to take a look real quick before we get into the trial, you can. He's doing some speed reduction, he's doing some soul damage, and he's doing some good like damage over time, AoE kind of situations here. I haven't really like done too much research on him. Like I'm not going to try to explain what he does right now because I'm not really like that in tune with it. I honestly just kind of read through it. I did the trial, and then I'm making this video for you guys, but we are going to do one later. I'm going to be doing a full like first impressions, like overview of them with DatScat later on. So stay tuned for that video. But in the meantime, here's the trial realm for it. I'm not going to sugarcoat this one for you guys. It was kind of difficult. You can already see that I've tried it multiple times because if you noticed that the rewards chest behind this one was already gone. It took me maybe, I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing. I think it probably took me an hour and a half to beat this trial. And maybe it's just user error. Maybe I was just picking the wrong teams, but I've never had troubles with trials before. This one, for some reason, I did. This first fight is very difficult. The E Honda Elena combo is tough. I didn't even think I was going to beat it this time around as well. I was surprised to see Mummy Dhalsim come in here and beat all of them. But I was glad that he did so I could move on with it. Some of these are very tough. And if I'm being honest with you, I feel like they're pretty RNG based. And you'll see this one as well. Like this is clearly, in my opinion, the best team to use for this matchup. But it's a 50-50 on whether or not you get nuked by Viper. It's also somewhat of a 50-50 to see who goes first. And you'll notice here, and I've talked about this in other trials before as well, that sometimes your team will just lose. And it doesn't matter, how good they are in comparison. It's just how the RNG plays out. So just because a team loses doesn't mean that's a team that can't win. So what you want to do in these trials is you want to do what I'm doing here and just run it back. And you'll see here, this is what I was talking about. Here's the 50-50, not in my favor. They went first and she nukes. So instant reset. Okay, so now this is my third time trying this. And you'll see that this time I do win, but it's not actually like that great of a win either. Like it's not a very solid victory. And I don't know like if I can say this with absolute certainty, but because I've never had trouble with trials before, I'm just somewhat inclined to feel like we have a bit of the shorthand of the stick here in this trial because I don't personally feel like Mummy Dhalsim is very good. And I just kind of don't like being stuck with him on the team and needing to slot one of his skills sometimes because it just makes you fall short. He's not really doing a lot of damage and he's reducing speed, but I mean, I'd rather be gaining speed. I'd rather just be doing damage. Like these fights aren't ideally supposed to last very long. But some of these matchups that they have in here with some of the fighters that were given to combat them, it's just kind of RNG based. There's another fight, not this one, but there's an E Honda and a Rose. And just like the E Honda and Elena combo, it's very difficult to take that team down. So I had a really hard time with that one also. It's not this one. I think this one was quite simple. Okay, yeah, so this one's easy. There are 3 tough battles in this one. On the right-hand side, like the lower right-hand side of the map, the first one, the second one is also difficult as well. And then the one in the very middle, that's the other one that's tough. I think this one I beat first try, and then the final one I beat the first try as well. But man, I don't know. It was a little disheartening playing this and playing around with Mummy Dhalsim and seeing where to slot his skills and seeing how effective he could be and just ultimately kind of finding him not doing much. He's got some cool animation. I think the idea behind his skills is good, but it just seems to be lacking like some punch and even some survivability. So I'm not really sure how to use him correctly, which again is why I didn't want to like dive into his skills and stuff when this first started. But this is just kind of the situation that I find myself in. So this is the lineup that I beat it with. It actually worked quite well. It's just a very weird lineup, but I guess it works. Could be RNG. I really don't know. But I tried this fight I think I did this fight alone for about 20 minutes before I finally beat it. And it's just difficult. It was really hard. I think landing the interrupt there with Jury coming out of the tag, I think was key on the E Honda. Like you'll look at this and say like, oh, that looks so easy. This isn't that hard. I tried like all the lineups that made the most sense, I guess. Sometimes you just need a weird lineup, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to show you all the fails on that. That'd be a 20-minute video of me just losing. But that's the lineup that worked for me. Hopefully it works for you guys. You're not stuck on that as long as I was. But this is the final one here. This one's quite easy. You're just going to be using B Zangief, hoping for an interrupt. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So I don't know. I need to do a little bit more testing with Mummy Dhalsim. First impression, not very impressed. I think he seemingly falls short so far. I'm not really, I just don't really understand what he's doing and what his actual benefit is. Like if you were to pick him purposefully to be in a lineup, like here we don't have a choice, but I don't really know where he falls, like even in a 3-team, type situation. Like where do you put him? Is he more meant to like counter B Zangief or counter Summer Ibuki? I don't really know. To be honest. So again, going to do more testing on that. Going to do a more full fighter review on these new two later today with Dascat. We'll get that up tonight. Definitely excited about 2 new fighters being dropped. It's always great to see a new normal faction being dropped, but I hope this isn't the trend right now where we see the normal faction fighters being like just not good, not really having a place. But well, I guess we'll kind of see with time how things go. I'll play around in the trials a little bit more today and have a more like educated approach to this. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. I hope this trial guide helped you guys out. I would have definitely loved to have found one to watch myself because I had such a hard time with it. But if you could just take a quick moment to hit the subscribe button, and we'll check you guys out in the next video. Cheers.